Hello, everybody. I am Noemi Banchi, and we are broadcasting from Springwood, Australia. And today we are continuing with this study of the book Pillars of Metaphysics. And today the topic is karma. Have you heard about karma? And if you are familiar with this word, well, we are going to see if you are really understanding what is the meaning of karma. So first of all, let me show you the cover of the book, Pillars of Metaphysics by Rubén Cedeño. Rubén is a Venezuelan musician who learned metaphysics with Connie Méndez. And the book was printed in London, and we have the paper book here in Australia as well. And you can find it on Amazon. Apart from when you come to the activities, you also can find the book here. So, continuing with this study, we already talked about one of the 7 universal principles, and was the first one was mentalism. So there are seven, and we can join 2 by 2. So mentalism and cause and effect, rhythm and vibration, polarity and generation, and correspondence. So mentalism is about thinking positively. Cause and effect, and this is today's topic. Cause and effect is to create positive causes. And we are going to spend the whole time today talking about this principle. Then we also have rhythm, which is do not move to extremes. Vibration, do not attach yourself because everything vibrates and changes. Polarity, consider the opposite polarity in everything. If there is heat, there is cold. If it's high, there is low. It is louder, it is soft. Polarity is about the two opposite polarities. Generation is to realize everything is generated through multiplication. And correspondence is to be aware that everything is duplicated somewhere else. By studying by applying one of the principles, you are applying all of them. So let's focus today on the principle of cause and effect. And just to remind you that a principle is something that always happens. It's a principle, like the principle of gravity is the law, is always going to happen. Even if you ignore the law, it won't change. And Hermes Trismegistus codified the 7 universal principles for the first time. And Rubén organized them with the modern terminology. And you can see the picture. We already saw this picture. Is in Siena Cathedral in Italy. On the floor of the cathedral, you can see this image, which represents Hermes or Mercury or Trismegistus as a contemporary of Moses. So long time ago. So these principles are not new. They are ancient, but the new way is about the presentation, is the way we talk about it. But this is not new at all. And in the same way that we can say that, for example, in science, Marie Curie, she didn't create the radium. She just discovered it. And then, well, we can use the ultraviolet rays, we can use X-rays and different things, but she didn't create it. The same with Hermes. He didn't create the 7 principles. The 7 principles already existed. We just study, and he put the principles, let's say, in words. Are you familiar? If you're from Australia, for sure you know about the boomerang. And everyone, even in Argentina, we know about that. A boomerang is a thrown tool designed to return to the thrower. So depending on the different materials, but depending the way you threw the boomerang, is designed to return to the thrower. And in the same way, we can say that the law of boomerang is the law of karma. Or another name is the law of cause and effect. We are saying the same thing. We are saying synonyms here. So first of all, karma is the application of the principle of cause and effect. Whatever you do to others will return to you in this life or another. But don't worry too much about another life. Just focus on this one. Because and this is the application, is whatever you do today, you're going to see the effects sooner or later. Sometimes people forget what they not just what they do, but what they thought, what they felt, what they said, or what they did. Yeah. And as Rubén Cedeño says, you are the cause of whatever happens to you. So stop complaining or stop thinking that you are the victim, because you, from now on, by understanding this principle, you are going to, like the picture, you are going to create or move causes that they will bring effect. Is a domino effect. Causality. It's a universal principle stating that everything that happens personally to yourself, externally, internally, and even universally is an effect that has a cause. So there is always a cause for everything. Talking about medicine, because it's my topic, I am a physiotherapist. And this is why most of the time, sometimes we know the cause. In medicine is well known the cause. So for example, if someone has a fall, most likely they have an injury. Now, it could be the ligament damage or the tendon damage or even the bone. What happens if someone has a pain and there is no mechanism of injury? In medicine, we say the etiology is unknown. But in metaphysics, we learned that there's always a cause for everything. And not even a virus has an effect on you if you don't have the cause, or if you haven't moved a cause. So for example, give me an example, because I'm talking too much here, too much theory. I always give the same example. I love this example, it's very visual. Mother Teresa of Calcutta. She was working with very sick people in terminal condition, and she never got infected by anyone. She died when she wanted. So this fear, if someone's sniff or cough, if you have in your mind the archetype we already said about, the archetype of I am healthy, whatever happens, even if you are in the coolest weather, you are going to be healthy. Now, on the other way around, you can catch a flu or any virus just like that, if you have the archetype that you are going to be sick. And just to give an example of health and illness, the same with prosperity and lack of money, the same with beauty and ugliness, the same with intelligence and stupidity, the same with protection or safety and danger, and with everything. So there's always a cause. And the good thing is you don't have to feel like you're the victim anymore, because you can change that cause. And that's what we stand up on our feet, and we can change the course of our life. And in physics, we know this principle as the Newton's third law of motion. Whenever one object exerts a force on another object, the second object exerts an equal and opposite on the first. So the ball, you threw the ball, and this is the first object. The second object will be the floor, and the ball will bounce. That's it. That's the law that works here on Earth, because we have the gravity. Now, is this law of karma or law of cause and effect or law of boomerang, is it only on Earth? No, it's in the universe. It's a universal law. There is no such thing as coincidence, chance, luck, or destiny. There is no coincidence that I'm going to give you some examples a little bit later. I prepared some examples to say, but someone got lucky because, I don't know, they got the lottery. No, there's no such a thing. Or the destiny. Do you believe in destiny? Some people ask me. Well, no, because I know the law of cause and effect. And by knowing this law, you imagine the sea, and in the sea there is a bottle, and that bottle is the person who doesn't know about this law. So according to the circumstances, it's going to go according to the tide, it's going to go one side or the other side. But once you know this, then you can change. You can change polarities. Talking about the polarity of law. So there is no coincidence, because we have, and we already said, this causation quadrant. Quadrant because we are talking about four elements. Causation because those 4 elements will be the cause. Your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your actions are the causes that will return to you. If you think like this, you don't have to worry about what you did in the past. And again, I'm bringing this to medicine because, like I said, I am more familiar with that topic. You don't have to worry too much if you get injured playing soccer, or I prefer say football, but let's say soccer, or rugby. If you, some people get concerned, they are concerned about, oh, but how did it happen? Don't worry too much about what did you do that, because if you now, and this is what I'm saying to them now, think that you have four powers: your mind, your feelings, your words, and your actions. So from now on, start saying, I am healthy. Now, I will bring this now because a person told me that the person was saying he had a condition on the shoulder. Okay, so the shoulder couldn't move. So I said to him, okay, so think you are healthy, but you need to repeat. And I say, are you a man? And he said, yes, of course. Well, with that confidence, you are going to say, I am healthy. The same confidence that you don't doubt if you are or not a woman or a man. Well, so with that confidence, you are going to say, I am healthy. So then he told me, next time he told me, oh yeah, I said to my shoulder. Now, he said, I am healthy, you don't move. And I said, no, don't say don't move, because he was giving the wrong command. Obviously, he's not going to improve his range of motion because he was telling the body not to move, and he really needed to move. So see how important is the way we speak. And this is an example. What happened with the energy? Because at the end of the day, we are managing energy with the causation quadrant, which is composed of, and this is when, let's see the person on wearing a white shirt. She will think positively, feel positively. Okay, let's say an example. Positive thinking will say, I can do it. Positive feeling, I love you. Or yes, the feeling like coming, let's be consonant with the same example. So I can do it. The feeling is like the power. Yes, no, yes, I can do it. Now you need to move the emotion. So I can do it. The words, so the speaking and the words, and the action, obviously doing it. When that is something positive, what example could be like a positive action? Like, let's say you are preparing food, a meal at home. So you think, I can do the recipe. You have in your mind. Then you put the feeling like, oh yes, I'm happy doing this. So that energy comes out from up. Let's say from your head. Go to the person you send that energy, to whatever you say, if you know, whatever you send the energy, and then that energy will come and through your feet will push you up. That's the way that the energy works when you move a celestial quadrant, a celestial causation quadrant. When you are using your 4 elements positively. And then you say, I feel so happy today. I wonder why. It's not luck, it's not destiny, it's because you move the causes. Now, on the other hand, the person on the right hand side, the person wearing black, and I put it on purpose because the colors that we wear will influence because that's the action. You are wearing that. Oh, but I put wherever I found in the wardrobe. Yes, okay. Let me tell you, I have nothing black in my wardrobe. So, and I don't put whatever is in my wardrobe. I choose the clothes. Today I chose this green top. Okay, so let's say that this person is sending negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative words, and negative actions, like for example, wearing black. And again, because I said that to people wearing black when I am with them, and they say, next time we talk about that, they say, I know you don't like black. And I say, no, excuse me, you wear whatever you want. I'm just telling you what is the black. What is the black color linked to? Accidents, lack, illness, depression, affects your mood unconsciously, but it feels bad, death. Anyway. So that energy, yes, gets out from the feet. Okay, so in that case, sorry, the circle is wrong. It shouldn't be like that. So the energy gets out from the feet because it's a low vibration, is low energy. That energy comes back to the person who says those negative things, or who says or who does, and it comes from the top of the head and push them down, and they feel depressed. They are not good enough. They cannot do it. They almost want to die. Why? Well, it's because of the energy, all the causes they moved previously. And they wonder, because they say, oh, I wonder what this happened to me, but I'm a good person. And they still say that, so I'm a good person. They think that they are really good, but if they listen to themselves, what they say, there was a person, I always remember this case, Ruben told us, there was a person who he met, and the person was always talking ill about other people in a bad way, and she got a very, very bad cough. At the end, she couldn't even speak because of the coughing. So some people think they are good, but they don't observe what they say. So saying you don't know why things are going wrong is an excuse not to face the reality of the bad things you have done in the past. So stop complaining about what other person did, or what the government is doing, or stop complaining about the destiny that you were born like this in that circumstances and you cannot do anything about it, because it's not the case. And this is the very good excuse, because all of these are excuses to say God is a God punishment. Excuse me, God is not a person. And I was going to show you an image, but then I thought, no, I'm not going to put any image. People already have a lot of images. I don't want to put any other image anymore. God doesn't punish anyone. But who is going to be responsible and say, okay, this is my mistake. I did something and now I am living this circumstance at the moment. No, they always try to blame someone else, and if they cannot blame anybody around, it's God. It's the perfect excuse, because God will not defend himself. He's not going to come and say, no, excuse me, this is you moving the law of cause and effect. And God, Allah, Ishwara, the name can change, is the being, is the 7 universal principles and the 7 aspects of the totality of life. Negative effects arise only from negative causes you've created yourself. They are not punishment from God. If you made a mistake, well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to cry? Well, if you want to cry, okay, cry, but then stand up, dry your tears, and say, okay, I need to change. This is an example of what happened in our brain about a knee-jerk reflex. And just looking at this video, we are going to understand what happened when someone moves a cause and what is the effect. And we don't have to even think about it consciously. So let's see.
The knee-jerk reflex is an example of a reflex action. It helps the body maintain posture and balance. Now, let's see how this reflex action is carried out. When the tendon below the kneecap of a hanging leg is tapped, stretch receptors in the upper leg muscle are stimulated. They generate nerve impulses. The nerve impulses travel along the sensory neuron to the spinal cord through the dorsal root. In the grey matter of the spinal cord, the nerve impulses are transmitted to a motor neuron. The motor neuron leaves the spinal cord through the ventral root.
This is all unconscious.
The nerve impulses finally reach the leg muscle. When the leg muscle is stimulated by the nerve impulses, it contracts and the leg kicks.
Yeah, that's it. So, the golden rule is everything you want others to do to you, do to them first. So that reflex of the knee is a cause, and you don't have to think about it. So the information in the talking about the reflex is going to the spinal cord and then coming you see the effect. The effect is the movement. Well, think like this with all the circumstances. You keep in your mind an archetype, and then you're going to reproduce it. And the golden rule here that Ruben Cedeño says is the golden rule like Jesus taught. When you want to talk with someone and say, nobody call me, I'm bored. Well, just call someone. Don't expect that someone needs to call you. Ruben always says this saying, I love it. The person thinks that they are the last cold Coke of the desert. You know, when you go to the desert, you are thirsty. And if one, where's water? Well, I think they're the last cold Coke of the desert. Oh, no, you're not. So, okay, if you need something, well, you do it first. And Jesus says, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword. Whatever you do, it will happen to you. Karma means action. Some people, not everyone, have the conception of karma only negative. But karma means action. Could be different type of karma. And here we can see the wheel of life. And the wheel of life is a drawing that you can see 6 places. And all the humanity is inside here. It could be in any place. On the lower part, there is the place, or one of the segments. I don't know if you can see it. Yes. So this one. So 1, 2, 3. These three let's say sections of the wheel of life so are the lowest, and the 3 upper sections are the better ones. Okay, let's talk about a little bit of each of them. So one of them is the maybe in Catholicism we can say the hell. Hell or heaven they are not places that when one day you're going to go to hell, or someone's go to hell. No, you don't go to hell. People who live in very bad circumstances, let's say someone who is homeless, well, do you think is hell? Someone in war, well, that's one of the segments of the wheel of life. Another one is the pretas. Pretas are the people who try, like the vampires, exactly the same. They try to suck other one's energy, and those are always looking for someone else to dry their energy. I don't know. And the other ones are the animals. Animals are people who just, well, what does an animal do? They eat, yeah. They probably sleep, yeah. They have sex, yes. They might have children, yes. That's it. This is all their life. That's an animal. Then on the upper part, we have the realm of humans, and this is the let's say the vast majority, where humans, well, you have a family, you have a job, you have some entertainment during the weekends, you have some sports, you play some sports, like routine. Yes. And then you have the realm of the semi-deva. Semi-deva are those who live really well. Let's say people who are above average in terms of salary. Some people might not need to work. They have more money than they need. And yes, they have a placid life. They have their home, they hobbies, and they live well. And then on the very top, the realm of the devas. Devas means beings of light. Devas is like I will say Dalai Lama, for example. Well, the Pope. Someone who I will say Krishnamurti was in that realm. Another person I can think at the moment. No, I don't know any at the moment. But these are the people who they really understand what is the sense of life, but still they still have some. They still are part of the world, so they still have some karma. Like we said, karma means action. So we have positive karma, bad karma, akarma, individual karma, family karma, national karma, racial karma, and world karma. So let's see. Well, I give an example of good positive karma, good karma. Good karma is to have this teaching, to have the opportunity to study this teaching, to put into practice this teaching, the metaphysics teaching. So what you are seeing here is a photo of myself with a group of friends, Rubén Cedeño, Fernando Candiotto. We were in Italy, in Pompeii, and we were there visiting the Our Lady of Pompeii. So, good karma. We had a very nice trip. Then, bad karma. This, a fracture. I remember the other day I was watching the movie Little Buddha, and the guy, his car broke down. And one person said, bad karma. So when something like this happens, it's bad karma. Cause and effect. Okay, do you recognize this? A little bit of geography. This is I will start with, yes, you know this one, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California, USA. So why I put this image? Well, because akarma is when you are on the bridge. So you are beyond good or bad. So it's when you do an action and you don't expect. You go beyond, positive or negative. So let's say, for example, the other day I went to a library. I left a book, the book that we are studying here, Pillars of Metaphysics by Rubén Cedeño. And the person in the library said to me, well, we don't know if we are going to accept the book because someone needs to see, evaluate if the book is appropriate, if you don't have already. And I said, okay. And so she said, do you mind? And I said, well, no. What I'm going to do? So my action was giving the book. Now, if they have the book in the library, good karma for them. If they threw the book away, bad karma for them, because I have the book. I don't need the book. So the people who doesn't have the book is who they need it. And if they don't provide the information or the knowledge, well, what can I do? So, akarma. On the contrary, in Melbourne, they send me an email saying, thank you for thinking of the library. Thank you, we received the book Pillars of Metaphysics by Rubén Cedeño. Good karma for them. This is individual karma. Once upon a time, I was flying and I was in the queue and I was in the, the economic class. And I was, when they call the groups and everything, well, so I didn't really know what group I was, so I was waiting. And all the queue was moving, and for some reason nobody was aware and nobody gave me the possibility to join the queue. So I was standing, waiting. And at the end, well, I just think I was the last person on the queue. And the lady said, the flight attendant said, "Are you alone? Are you flying alone?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, wait a moment. So she went to the computer and then and she gave me another ticket, boarding pass, and she said, you have business class now. And so, oh wow, that's good. My first time in business class. Thank you, Father. Good karma. And it's only affecting one person. That's why individual. Family karma. Well, as I put the example of my family. So you can see in the center, my mom and my dad. Next to me is my auntie, Pupa. And then, let's see if I can show you. Let's see with this. Okay, so this is my eldest sister, Analia, my elder brother, Fabian, my sister-in-law, Vanessa, with their daughter, Clara, and they already have another one, Alfonsina. At that moment, she wasn't on the planet, and my younger sister, Melissa. So this is my part of my family. So what happened is, family karma is something that affects the whole family. So for example, having a house, we lived, the six of us, so my siblings with my mom and my dad, we were living all in the same house. We had education. The fourth of us, my siblings and myself, we had the possibility to study. We had food at the table. We had the love and care of our parents. My mom always had my clothes ready for school and for going out, and the possibility to travel. And well, that's all family karma that affects the whole family. National karma. Well, some countries are at war, so that's karma that affects the people who live there. Race karma, well, just put an example of some conditions, health conditions that can be related to race as well. And what happened in 2020, it affected the whole world. So it was world karma. And nowadays, well, we know already, so it's not an issue anymore. But at that time, of course that you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to bring the topic just for not giving power, but you know the condition that affect the whole world in 2020, that you were at home, and well, you know already. And I bring this prosperity practice because it's what we do every single activity. After we finish the talk, then we give our donation. And I like to explain why. Because even Connie Mendes, who was a millionaire, she asked for donation. And the money is not for me. For example, I am the facilitator, in this case, facilitating this teaching. And I also give money to pay the rent of the room, to pay this laptop, to pay different things. Well, now, this money giving the donation is for the students to have the opportunity to give in return. Because when you receive something and you don't give, you are in debt. So the prosperity practice is when we don't charge for the activities. How much can we charge for this? There is not enough money to pay for this. So what we do, and it's not what we call the tip. It's not that you are going to have a coin. Okay, if you want to give a coin of $2, it's okay. Nobody is going to ask you. You don't have to say. I remember once was a person here who was saying, I put $2. I said, well, you don't have to say how much you put. What you do with your right hand, the left shouldn't know. So when you give your donation, you don't have to say anything. You just give. Now, the key here is remember the image when you move a cause, the cause will return to you. Well, if you give a little bit, you are going to receive a little bit. And if you give a lot, you will receive a lot. That's why we do the donation. Now, this domino effect, how do we stop? Because you are not a saint. You have been moving negative cause, I don't know, since you were born. What are you going to do about it? Well, first of all, the celestial causation quadrant, which is positive thinking, positive feeling, positive speech, and positive action. Positive thought, positive feeling, positive word, positive action. That's the way you change. Now, some people, they make mistakes and they say sorry. Because you bring the topic, you say, you did this and this and this, and they say sorry. And I ask, why do you say sorry? Because by saying sorry, you are not fixing the problem. By doing. The other day I was at work and the supervisor came and said, once you finish, clean the bed. And someone says, oh, sorry. But then the person went and cleaned the bed. So by saying sorry, first of all, you are not fixing anything. So you need to move the cause. So move positive causes. And another thing you can do as well is, for example, let's give you another example in music. Like Ruben always says the same example. If you are playing the piano and you are playing do, re, mi, I don't know, and you put the wrong finger, the teacher will correct you. And if you say sorry, well, nothing happened. You just need to do it again correctly. And then, if you know the ray, you can use the violet flame or the violet ray, which is an energy we already studied, but this is an energy that you can use to transmute, to change a situation. Transmutation means that you are changing something negative into something positive. Some causes are very deep in the brain. Some archetypes are very deep. You don't recall how many causes have you moved for generations and generations from your life. So what you can do is invoke this violet fire by saying, we can say this together, I am the violet flame transmuting this situation. Again, I am the violet flame transmuting this situation. And again, I am the violet flame transmuting this situation. As you see, I use my hand. I use my voice in a particular tone. Yeah, that's it. Okay, well, thank you very much and see you next time. Bye for now.